everyone. Welcome to our exclusive social media training. I am so proud of you guys for earning this and bonus qualifying halfway through the month. That's amazing. So congratulations for even being able to be on this. I'm super stoked to share this with you, with this training with you. I love social media so much, and I can't wait to help you. One of my biggest goals is to make our team the best team at social media. So I'm really glad that you guys are all hopping on and ready to learn. And so today's topic is 10 tips on how to not be annoying on social media. And I wanted to share this because when I do a one-on-one call with my new stylist, and I always ask them at the end of the call what scares them about this, this opportunity. And they almost 90% of them always say, I just don't want to be annoying. Like, I don't want to be that girl that's obnoxious on social media. So I thought I would do a special training where talking about how to not be annoying on social media. And this training is about attraction marketing, which is the way to go, in my opinion. It's way more fun. It's where people get to know you from social media and they come to you from that. So if you are on your phone, make sure you're muted. I tried to mute everyone, but I can hear a couple people who are not muted. So make sure you're muted, and let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to say that what I'm about to share, probably only about half of you guys are going to do this. So I hope that you'll be one of the, that you'll be in that 50% that take my tips and apply them, because I've done trainings in the past for our team, and then I've noticed like people are still doing what I'm telling them not to do. So it's really, so I just want to challenge you to really apply these. And as you practice, you'll get better at social media, and you will start to get your groove with social media. But it takes practice. In fact, on Instagram, I recently looked at my my stats on Instagram, and I have almost posted 5,000 posts since I signed up 7 years ago. So, you know, it just takes time. It takes practice. And so I have my notes here because I don't want to forget anything. So what I'm about to share applies to your personal Facebook wall and to your personal Instagram. This is where most of the tips I'm going to share apply. And it can apply to your VIP group, but only in addition to your VIP group. These things that I'm about to share, I want you to be doing on your personal wall and your personal Instagram, because that's how you attract new clients, and that's how you attract new people that want to join your team. So, and here's my number one tip, or no, my first tip, and that is, but this isn't one of the 10. But that is that if you're like, oh, I don't have an Instagram, or I'm not really using Facebook, what I do is I do two birds with one stone. I post on Instagram, and then I copy and paste, and I post it on Facebook. So you don't have to be posting all this different content in all these different social media platforms. I just recommend using Instagram and Facebook and post the same stuff on both. That's what I do, and that's what I've done for years, and it works. So you don't have to complicate it. And if you're not familiar with Instagram, if you know how to use Facebook, you know how to use Instagram. So you're going to just do the same thing you do on Facebook on Instagram. So tip number one is to use the golden rule. So treat others on social media the way that you would want them to treat you. So if you don't want to be annoying on social media, then you're not going to, because you'll avoid doing the things that you've seen other spammy people do. So if you hate it when other people share, cat video after cat video on your wall, then don't do it yourself. So it's really just about, like, when you see something that kind of bothers you, if you see someone ranting about politics or whatever, or being pessimistic on social media, and that bothers you, then don't do it yourself. For example, I don't like getting cold messages from people in like Messenger, where they say, they'll be like, hey girl, I have this awesome opportunity. I'd love to have you join my team, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, you obviously don't know anything about me, because I already like have my own team, and it just comes across as spammy. So, instead, I like to say, I send messages that are like something like, hey, Amy, I have a fun gift that I want to send you. What's your address? And then you can send them like a sample or even a full set if they're like on your dream team, or even like sending birthday messages. I've done, birthday messages where I ask if they want a sample, or just on their wall, I'll say, happy birthday, I have a fun little gift for you, message me your address. Just things like that. To me, that's something I would be okay with someone doing to me. And so I feel okay about doing it myself. So really, you just have to think of it. And that's another tip for you guys, is that you like put yourself in your customers and your prospects' shoes, and think like, and think of what would intrigue you and what has intrigued you in the past. And so anytime you can put yourself back in, the person you were before Color Street, and think of like, well, what got me excited? What post on social media pulled me in? What, was it like a gorgeous Nilfi? What did that Nilfi look like? Start doing market research and thinking about the things that have worked on you, because you are your target audience. Your vibe attracts your tribe. So you're going to attract other people like you. And so you want to kind of put yourself in the place of your customer and think of what you would like, what would intrigue you. And that's what you want to do. So tip number 2 is make it, and I've said this before, but I'm going to say it a billion times because a lot of people still don't get it, but make your social media like a reality show and not an infomercial. I just feel like this is such a good visual. I'm a visual person. And when I think about a reality show, it just makes it easy for me to visualize how my social media posts should be, because people, we love to know what other people are doing. We love the behind the scenes. We're curious because we want to know that we're not alone, right? We want to know that other people do things kind of similar to us. And so that's why we're curious about like just the everyday stuff that people do. And that's why we have reality show stars, So wouldn't it be cool if our entire team culture was not spammy? I critiqued some of the stylists on Team Nailed It, and I did you can watch it on YouTube. Search my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/KellyFrance. But I saw several stylists on my team who were only posting about Color Street. They were only posting about nails. And nobody wants to be an infomercial. That's the easiest, fastest way to be annoying, is to constantly be like, hey, buy my nails. Hey, check out my party. Hey, click on my link. And I'm not saying you should never do that. But what I'm saying is you want to do about 5 personal posts about your life and your family and the things you're into and then throw in a commercial. Okay. So you're going to do like 5 posts, then your commercial about Color Street or your nails or the business opportunity or something like that. But you want to have at least 5 about you, because you are what you're selling. You're not selling nails. You're selling you. And there are people, I have people who, I used to sell graphic tees for like a few months. I sold graphic tees, and the people that bought my graphic tees are the same people that buy my nails, because they know, like, and trust me. And that's what you want. You want people to get to know, like, and trust you. And so that's why you're sharing about who you are, and you're sharing your message and your behind the scenes, so that people can get to know, like, and trust you. Because when they do, they'll buy anything from you, anything. So I want you to think of your personal posts as something you would text your sister or your BFF. Okay? And that takes the pressure out of it. Like, think of the things that you text your friends, right? It's probably pictures of your kids. It's probably funny quotes. It's probably like a recipe, or whatever. It's your family life. It's you being goofy. Those are the things that you want to share on social media. And I know that can be scary, but that is how attraction marketing works. And it's so much easier that way, because people come to you instead of you trying to seek out hostesses and you trying to seek out people to join your team. They are seeing your posts, and they're connecting with you, even though you don't know them. So here's the interesting thing. I don't have a lot of people on my team locally. They're all over the US. Like, the world is our oyster when we have social media and when we do attraction marketing. You don't have to know, you don't have to, recruit your neighbors and your cousin and your family in order to build a team. If you're using social media the way that I'm sharing with you, you're going to attract people that are like you, that you don't even know. The majority of the people on my team, that have joined under me personally, have found me through some social media platform. YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I did a poll in my enrollees group, and it was the majority of them. I think there were like 10% that knew me personally. The rest that have met me in person. The rest all found me from social media. So that's what I love about social media. You can connect and make new friends and have attraction marketing because of that. So like I said, the things that you would text your sister or your girl, your friends, that's the things you want to be posting on your personal wall. If it's so spammy that you wouldn't text it to your friend, then don't post it, okay? So one of the things I want to encourage you, I know there's a lot of people that think, well, I don't do anything that cool. I just stay at home and work, or I just go to work and I don't do anything that awesome, right? I think all of us think of but everyone has the mundane. So I want to encourage you to share the mundane, because people are curious about what you do. They're curious about what you eat. They're curious about what you wear. They're curious about the little things. So find little things that you can share about. You can share about how you're cleaning your house today and you don't want to, or you can share about, just little simple things, how you're working at the office today, how you're stuck in traffic, like whatever those little things are. People relate to those little things. Those are sometimes the things people relate to most, right? Because we all have mundane lives. Like, nobody has this amazing, fun life all the time. So share the mundane, share those behind the scenes. All right, number 3, the third tip on how to not be annoying on social media is to stalk yourself, because your prospects will be. I've had several of the girls that have signed up under me say, I looked on your wall and I kind of stalked you to see if we would be a good fit, if they connected with me. And so stalk yourself, look at your Facebook wall, right? Not right now, but after this, I want you to look through your Facebook wall and see what you've been posting consistently. Are you just sharing everybody else's crap? Or are you sharing about your life? And what message are you sending? So look at it overall. And I have to do this to myself. Sometimes it starts to turn into an infomercial, and I have to be like, I need to share more about my personal life before I post about Color Street again. It's hard because I love Color Street and I love my business and I love my team. And so it's hard not to be in an infomercial sometimes. But so that's why it's important to kind of take a look back at your Instagram feed, at your personal wall, and see what's on there and what message you're sending to other people. And even if you're not getting likes and comments all the time, people are watching you. I've had people stop me in the grocery store and be like, oh my gosh, that's so fun that you did this, or that your kid, you know, did this thing. And I was like, I didn't even know you followed me on social media. But people are watching you. Even if you don't get a lot of likes, even if you don't get a lot of comments, they're still watching you. I mean, think about you. I'm kind of a lazy person on social media. I don't typically comment and like a ton of other people's posts. And I think people just kind of scroll through, right? We take it in, we scroll through. We don't always like or comment, but we're seeing it. And so just because you're not getting likes and comments doesn't mean people aren't watching you. So that's why it's important. And I want to encourage you to post 2 to 3 times a day. And if you're not posting at all on your personal wall and Instagram, at least start with once a day. But I recommend attaching, anytime you're trying to create a new habit, attach it to an old habit. So attach it to, we all eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So post at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That way you're hitting the breakfast, the morning crowd, the lunch crowd, and the dinner, like the evening crowd, because people get on at different times in social media. So when you're eating your breakfast, think, have I done a post? When you're eating your lunch, have I done a post? And that's, I don't want to overwhelm you, but that is, but if you want to like really, really up your game on social media, 3 times a day, because it's a reality show, right? People want to know all the little things you do. And typically one of my 3 posts will be a question. That makes it easy. That way the other 2 are like a picture post, but one of them, I just did a post this morning asking about what your favorite knives are. So how I have crappy knives and I need new knives, and asking them. So that makes it easy because it's interactive. People love sharing their opinions, and I don't have to there's not a lot of thought that goes into those. I just ask random questions on social media. And then the other 2 can be more thoughtful and can have, you know, a picture or a quote or whatever. So let's see, I got a couple questions. Is this posting on your VIP page or your personal page? And do you have your personal page public? Good question. It is posting on my personal page. That's what I'm talking about. This whole webinar, I'm talking about posting on your personal page, which I know is scary. But guys, this is how you recruit. This is how you get new customers. This is how you get new hostesses. And yes, I do have my Facebook page is public, because I get random people following me all the time, like following and watching and friending me. So I highly recommend making it public. And she said, what about if you have an Instagram just for Color Street? So the Color Street, I have an Instagram just for Color Street. It's Francie Pants Nails. And that one can be a little bit more of an infomercial because they followed you for your nails. So it's okay if you're posting about nails all the time. But what I'm talking about, what I'm referring to in this webinar, is your personal Instagram and your personal Facebook posts, okay? So stock yourself, and maybe even have your direct upline stock yourself. Ask her, ask your friend or sister, like ask someone else to give you feedback on what they're seeing on your wall, what they think, and what how they perceive the things that you've been posting. And one thing I really want to mention quick is that you also beware of what people tag you in, or like share on your, when people tag you, it also shows up on your wall. So you don't want to have a wall full of tags. So I have my Facebook settings, and I can't remember what I did to do this. So if anyone does, put it in the chat. But I made it so that I had to approve when anyone tags me for it to be on my wall, because I'm very particular about what appears on my wall, because that's what people scroll when they're like, okay, I want to find someone, that I want to find someone. I've had several people say they searched Color Street on Instagram or Facebook, and mine came up, and then they scroll and stalk my feed to see if they connect with me. So I'm particular about how my feed looks, how my Facebook looks. And so I want to encourage you guys to guys, mute yourself if you're on your phone. I can't, for some reason it's not letting me mute you. So Nikki and Sharice, you guys need to mute yourselves. Krista said, I like to randomly post on my personal page about the struggles or everyday life, like working a full-time job, how you get a kid, and now how I don't have to worry about my nails. Then I say if they want more information about CS, shoot me a message and I will add them to my group. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so number 4 tip, I gotta keep moving, is to post pics of you. And I know not a lot of you guys are gonna love this, but but post pictures of yourself because you're the star of your social media. And people need that visual of you. And I know that's not fun because some days, like, I'm just like a hot mess and I haven't brushed my hair or my teeth or I'm not wearing makeup or whatever. So I recommend stockpiling photos of yourself. Having, when you're having a good hair day, change your shirt and take a picture of a different shirt, take several selfies, ask your, so stockpile photos of yourself. And then, or when you're out and about, I always ask, like, strangers, you know, will you take a picture of us, of the group or whatever? Asking your husband, make your husband an Instagram husband, ask him to take photos of you. Ask your kids. I bribe my kids to take photos of me. Sometimes I'll bribe them with like a candy bar or like a couple dollars. So bribing your kids or using the timer on your phone, okay? Because, and I know this isn't fun. I think a lot of women, you know, struggle with being in the photos. But you're going to want, first of all, your kids and your family are going to want to remember you. So get in the photo just for that reason alone, but also because you are the star of your reality show. And so I know it's annoying, but trying to at least post one photo of you at least once a week, at least. And then Brenda said it's under timeline and tagging settings. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Brenda. That's for if you want to approve the posts that you get tagged in. You'll go to on Facebook under timeline and tagging settings. Okay, so posting pictures of you, that's so, so important. So make sure, and that's something I almost always have to say to my new stylist because I usually like kind of stalk their feed while we're on the phone and I'll say, okay, I'm not seeing enough pictures of you. I want to see pictures of you because it's easy to post pictures of our kids because they're adorable, right? But post pictures of yourself, okay? All right, tip number 5 is be social like you would in real life. So I have to remember this sometimes because it's hard to, sometimes I'll do a post, but I won't always stick around to comment and interact with the people that are commenting back. And so in real life, you wouldn't just give a thumbs up if someone said something to you, right? You wouldn't just be like, and so it's important that you take the time to reply back to comments that you get, and you interact, that you take the time to, I have a friend who's so good at this. She was in my previous direct selling company, and not only would she reply back, but she would almost always, so for example, let's say I do a post about, you know, like the one I did about knives. What are your favorite knives? And people reply and they say their favorite knife. It's important to reply back. But what my friend does, and she's so good at this, is she will reply back with a question and be like, oh, really? Like, where did you find those knives? Or how do you know, what do you use them for? And so it starts a conversation within your post. And that's how you connect with people, right? It's about those conversations. So I have to remind myself that, like, if we were in a, you know, if if we were just sitting next to each other, I wouldn't just be like, if someone shared, my favorite knife is this, I wouldn't be like, right? I would be like, oh, cool. Where did you, we would continue the conversation. So, all right. So that's a big one. And also, like I said, typically one of my posts a day is a question. That's such an easy thing to do. And it's very interactive. And I'll do this in my Facebook groups too, like in my VIP group, asking questions. That's how you can boost the algorithm in your VIP groups, is asking questions, because people, and they can be the most random question in the world, Batman versus Superman. It's going to blow up. I did pizza versus hamburgers and got like 40 comments, People love sharing their opinions and they feel connected to you when they do. All right. Tip number 6 is add value. When you're adding value, you're not being annoying on social media. And how you add value is by doing one of the 3 things: entertain, educate, or relate. Anytime you're doing one of those 3 things, you're adding value to people. So when you're, when you post something that's like funny about your life, or, silly or whatever, something that's entertaining, that's adding value. Educating, anytime you're sharing something, whether it be, maybe it's just a recipe that you're sharing, or a tip of a life hack, whatever, you're educating people, that's adding value. That's not annoying. And relating. So anytime you share something that's relatable, that's adding value, which leads me to my next number 7 tip, and that is getting vulnerable. Being vulnerable is one of the scariest things to do on social media, but it's also how people connect to you the most, because we see so much of people's highlight reels on social media, right? And that's not as relatable. It's when people get real and they share the things that they're struggling with. That's when we feel like, that's my girl. Like she gets me, I get her, So, so I have to remind myself to share those things that I'm struggling with, because I don't want anyone to think that my life is perfect, because nobody's life is perfect, right? We're all a hot mess, right? As you can see in the background, like all still moving in. I'm living life out of boxes right now because we just moved. So, sharing the things that you're struggling with. And that's not to say that you have to air your dirty laundry. And maybe you're going through something that you don't even want to share what it is that you're going through because it's private. You can still say, I'm going through something and here's what I'm doing to overcome it. And that's typically what I like, is not just like saying, being a Debbie Downer on social media. It's about saying, here's what I'm going through, or I'm going through something, and you don't have to share what it is, and here's what I'm doing to overcome it. Here's some of the steps I'm doing. That is inspiring. Anytime people share something that they're struggling with, or that they have struggled with in the past, that's so inspiring to me. And guys, those are generally the most scary ones to post. Like, those are my least favorite ones to post. But those are typically the ones where you get the most comments. Because people are like, girl, I've been there, I've done that. Or they're like, I'm so sorry you had to go through that. And they just feel connected to you as a human, because everyone's struggling with something, right? Let's see, I'm looking at some of these comments. Brenda Lowe said, how you're overcoming it is key. Nobody likes to see a post that's merely looking for sympathy. Right, exactly. So yeah, sharing how you're overcoming it makes it go from seeking sympathy to inspiring. Like, oh my gosh, this girl went through this hard thing and now she's doing something about it. That's inspiring. Um, all right, so I got a couple questions I want to hit before we go further. Susan said, I'm a major introvert here, and it's hard to get past the mindset of wanting to stay private about everything and anything. So first of all, Susan, I am also an introvert. I'm an outgoing introvert, but I like my space. And doesn't mean that I'm not social or anything, but I like controlled social, which is why social media is so great, because I can share about my life in like a controlled setting. I can interact with people in a controlled setting. But here's the thing, Susan, you get to share what you want to share about. I mean, you get to decide what you want to share about. You don't have to share about everything. You get to decide. So there's sometimes where I'm like, you know what, this is a personal thing that I'm not going to share with the whole world. Or this is our family is doing something, you know, fun or like something special that I just want to be in the moment and I don't want to share about this. So you get to choose. And so I recommend choosing your 5 favorite things that you're going to share about on social media, because that's how you create a brand. And your brand is the icing on the cake. Like the things that I've trained you to do in Team Nailed It, the trainings that I've given you, that's the recipe on how to rock your business. But if you have a personal brand and you do attraction marketing, that is the icing on the cake that is going to be, that's really going to move your business forward. So it's important to brand yourself by being consistent with the things you post about. So people know that I post about fun, fashion, fitness, family, and faith in yourself. So that's kind of my brand. And your brand might evolve, and it's kind of hard to figure out what your 5 favorite things are. But it's a journey. It's a journey, and it takes practice. But the key is to number one, start sloppy and just start doing it. As you start doing it, you'll start getting your a feel for what you want to share about and what you don't. And then being consistent about it. So let's see, a couple more questions before I finish. Tracy said, I'm in the older generation. I really do not understand Instagram. I've tried to search videos, but most are just infomercials for the person. Do you have a good Instagram explanation and how to for Color Street? So literally, I think people overcomplicate Instagram. They're like, I just don't get Instagram, but they're on Facebook doing the same exact thing. So like I said before, start an Instagram, name it your name, and then share about your life, you know, share a picture of you or your family or your 5 favorites. You're going to post it on your Instagram and then copy and paste that and post it on Facebook. The same stuff you post on Facebook, post it on Instagram. The same, 30 seconds later. It takes only 30 more seconds to do that. And then you're on 2 platforms. You're rocking 2 platforms. Okay. Polly asked, and I'm just going to do a couple more questions, and then I want to finish the top 10 list, and then I'll hit more questions. Polly said, do you ever go live on your personal page? If so, what about? Why, yes, I do, Polly. I do. And I have missed the past couple weeks, but I do Try It Tuesday. So every Tuesday I go live and I try a new product for people, not Color Street, just random products. And it's really fun. People have loved watching that. It's kind of a series, basically. And, a lot of people have stopped me in the store and told me they watched my Try It Tuesday, asked me questions about the products I'm sharing. So you got to kind of find something you can be consistent about. Maybe it's What's Cooking Wednesday. But I want to encourage you guys to go live on your personal page, because, again, if it's a reality show, if you're doing video, that's even better, because that's how we watch reality shows, through video. That's how people connect to you, is through video. They really get to feel your energy, get a real glimpse of your personality. So I want to encourage you guys to go live at least once a week. That's my goal. I always try to go live at least once a week. And it can be random stuff too. I mean, it doesn't have to be long. Like, you can go live and be like, oh my gosh, look how cute my dog is being right now, for 2 minutes. It doesn't have to be like anything mind-blowing or it's just something that you want to share. But I always have to, if you guys have ever read There's a book called The 5 Second Rule by is it Mel Robbins? I think it's so good because it encourages you to kind of be brave and do things that scare you. And so for me, going live it's not easy. I don't think it's easy for anyone, but it gets easier with practice. And I still have to be like, okay, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. She teaches you to count down and just do it. And so you might need to do that with some of your posts too. Like, I've got this vulnerable post. I'm kind of scared to do it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push post. And then you can go like hide under the covers. And another thought on vulnerable posts, if you're like, oh my gosh, I want to share this, but I'm kind of scared because it's personal. And sometimes I'll text it to my husband or my upline and say, how does this sound? Does this sound okay? Like, I want to post this, but I don't want it to come across. I want it to come across the right way. And so I'll kind of like have people look at it before I post it if it's something that kind of scares me. So you can always do that, text it to your upline and say, how does this sound? I'm about to post it. I'm a little bit scared. And they'll be your cheerleader to help you do that. Okay. And then, hang on. I'm going to get to your questions in a minute, but I want to finish the top 10 list here. So let me give you some examples of when I've been vulnerable. Right after conference, I was so, just had so many emotions, and, I was so grateful for Color Street. And so I went live and I was crying in my live video, and it was kind of scary, but I felt like I wanted people to see how I feel about Color Street and how it's blessed my life. And so I went live and I cried on a live, and it was scary, but a lot of people really connected with that and commented. And and then another time, flaunt your flaws. Another time I posted about how I lost my bra and my purse at Wendy's. So that's kind of a joke for people that follow me. They know I lose things a lot. I post about how I like my teenage daughter 3 weeks out of 4, like just jokes and real life stuff like that. Amanda Yoakum, she does funny. She'll post pictures of her bed head. Rachel Hoover has talked about like her credit card debt. And so many of you, I've seen so many of you get personal and get vulnerable, and just makes me so proud of you because so many people relate to that. All right. And then tip number 8 is to be grateful instead of gloating. So I think a big thing, I know many of you are concerned about, you don't want to come across as braggy. Like, I know nobody wants to come across that way, but it's so important that we share the business blessings. And so the way to avoid coming across as like you're bragging is to just come from a place of gratitude, sharing it from, with gratitude. Nobody's going to question that when you're saying, I am so grateful. I just did a post last night about how I'm so grateful I could afford to buy a plane ticket to my grandmother's funeral, and that's not me bragging. That's me being so just feeling grateful about, and thankful because of Color Street. And so if you're scared to share about the business opportunity, that's why we have Thankful Thursdays in our team, because, I post every Thursday. I'm like, Thankful Thursday. I want to encourage you guys to share one of the business blessings, because people don't often see them. And yet I know we all think them. I know you guys think them probably on a daily basis where you're like, gosh, I'm so grateful I have this business because of the friends I've made, or because I was able to pay my cell phone bill. And again, it doesn't have to be big. I think that's what stops a lot. I think a lot of women many of us are perfectionist procrastinators, where we're like, well, if I can't do it perfect, I'm just not going to do it at all. And that's why I always encourage you to start sloppy. You don't have to have a perfect picture. You don't have to look perfect. You don't have to have the perfect caption. Just put it out there. And let's see, tip number 9, compliment. Actually, I'm going to move to tip number 10 and then I'll go back to 9, because tip number 10 kind of relates to being grateful and posting about the business blessings. And that is that if you don't post it, it didn't happen. In the social media world, if you don't post it, nobody knows that it happened. Am I right? So let me give you an example of this. So a few years ago, I had some friends. We've moved a lot. And when I lived in Nevada, when I moved away from Nevada, I had some friends, still in Nevada, who thought that I had gotten a divorce because I never post pictures of my husband. And I was like, what the heck? Like, how in the world would you think that? I'm like very happily married, but my husband, he's more quiet than me and he doesn't like to be in pictures. And so I found that so interesting that because I didn't post pictures of my husband, some of my best friends, these weren't just random strangers, these were some of my best friends, assumed, that some of my best friends that I lived away from, I didn't live by them, so obviously they don't see me often enough, they assumed that I was divorced. And so that made me realize, like, gosh, if I don't post about my husband, people may assume that I'm not married. And it goes with so many different things. I had people who assumed I didn't go to church. You have to post about it. If you don't post about it, nobody knows that it's happening in your life, in the social media world. So I want to encourage you. That's why I want to encourage you to, okay, so wait, let me move back. So what I started doing, again, my husband still doesn't like to be in the pictures. So now I just tried to mention him in the caption, and I tried to say our family, and my husband and I did this, and our kids, so that it's not just my kids. Anyway, I had to be just really careful about the wording. So even though he's still not in the pictures very often, I am sharing that through the captions. So that's why I think it's so important to share the business blessings, because nobody knows how much this business is blessing your life unless you share about it. And again, I know that's vulnerable and I know it's scary and you don't want to come across as braggy, but just sharing those little blessings. It doesn't have to be a mind-blowing thing. Just the little things about how you're gaining new friends and how you earned this social media webinar. Like, you guys do a screenshot and share about how you love learning new things and you got to be a part of this webinar. Little things like that are the business blessings. And so I want to encourage you guys to post about how it's blessing your life, because when people see that consistently, post about it once a week, and they see it consistently, then they're like, oh my gosh, this is really I want those things in my life. I want to make more friends. I want to be able to pay my cell phone bill. I want to be able to, learn new things, or I want to have a business, or I want to have like an outlet for myself. Just anytime you think about the business blessings, share those online. All right. And then the final tip, and then I'll hit your questions. So if you guys have questions, start asking those in the comments. But the final tip is to compliment others. So not only do you want to be posting on social media, but it's good to interact and comment on other people's posts on social media and on their Instagram stories and in Messenger. And the easiest way to do that is to compliment them. Give them a genuine compliment that you truly believe about them. I know that anytime someone compliments me, I'm like, you're my best friend. I love you. Because we don't hear it enough. And so it's such an easy way to connect with others. And who doesn't love a good compliment, a genuine compliment? So that's a great way to connect and build relationships on social media. And then finally, if you need ideas, because we're all still learning, we're all on this social media journey together. It's always changing. But follow other rock stars on social media. Find people who are killing it in Color Street or in other direct selling companies. I follow rock stars in other direct selling companies, and I love it because I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a genius post, and I'll save it or I'll screenshot it and be like, I'm going to do something like that. That was a great idea. Obviously, I'm going to put my own spin on it, but that's how you can get inspired and get some ideas for future posts. So that answers the question that somebody asked about how do you come up with so much to say? Do you write it out on your computer first or your phone? So yeah, following other people gives you ideas. And I do write it out on my phone. In my phone notes, I'll sometimes write out a message like a post that I want to do. Because I know we're all busy, right? We're all busy, ladies and dudes, if there's any dudes on here. We're all busy people. And so sometimes I'll pre-write out the content, the caption. And that way, when I want to post it, I just copy and paste it and post it. When I have a minute, like when I was on the plane last night flying back, I was writing up posts that I'm going to post because I like to pre-schedule them because I don't have time to always post them in the moment. Oh yeah. And Brenda said, don't just copy post word for word or take other people's graphics and crop or delete their watermark. She's had that done to me. Yeah, that's not cool. Don't be copying people's, be a voice, not an echo. Try to share your own. That's how you be a reality show. It's got to be your reality show, not someone else's reality show. And that's why I recommend not sharing other people's. I see this all the time. If I'm stalking someone on my team's feed, I'll see them sharing. They'll like click share on a funny video. They'll click share on a recipe. They'll click share on a meme. They'll click share on a cat video. And it's like, it's all everyone else's content but their own. I want to see what they're doing. I want to see what they're eating. I want to see what their kids are doing. I want to see what their job is. I want to see all the things. So that's why it's important to come up with your own content. And that's how you build a brand, and that's how you build a following, which is what I want for all of you guys. Okay, questions. Here we go. Let me get to some of the questions I missed. Okay. So Jamie said, regarding when I post on Instagram and then I post it to Facebook, she said, you don't want to link the accounts, right? You can post the same thing. So on Instagram, there's a place where you can click share and have it post to Facebook. I don't do that. I have, except for on my business page, I will link it and just do it to my business page. But on my personal Instagram, I'll post it on my Instagram first. Then I copy and paste that content and post it to Facebook, because if you just click share, like slide the share button on Instagram, it won't get seen as much. So you want it to be posted directly to Facebook by you and not just from clicking share. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, Felicity said, how much should you post personally if you have multiple businesses? Like I have my Color Street business, but I also work party time and manage their social media as well. Okay, I would say as much as you can. Like post, at least once a day, but I want to encourage you guys to do 2 to 3 times a day. That's how you create a reality show. So yeah, try to do it as much as often. And that's going to take a little bit of planning and preparation. And that's why I have so many stock photos. And so not all my posts that you guys see not all the pictures you see are from real time. Sometimes if I take a picture of myself, I have pictures that I've taken like a month ago that I'm going to be posting in the next couple weeks, because I just kind of like create a pool of photos, and that way I always feel like I have content, or at least a picture of myself to post. And then you can make the caption be, in real time, and relevant to what's happening that day that you post it, but the picture doesn't necessarily have to be taken that day. And so that's how I kind of plan my posts. And, and I use Planoly. Let me show you guys a picture. So I have my posts planned out for today. I usually just kind of pre-plan them 1 or 2 days. Let me just show you. So these are some of the posts that I'll be doing in the next couple days. You can kind of see them already. So all the pictures are in here that I use as my pool of pictures. And then on Planoly, you can actually tap the picture. And then, let me see if it shows you. If I do it at an angle, you can see right there. I write up the caption and then I save it. I click the save button. So that's how I pre-schedule stuff based on my five favorites. I'll be posting about fitness. I'll be posting about fashion. I'll be posting about food. Those are all going to be the next 3 to 4 posts are about my 5 faves. So that's how I stay consistent, but that's how I don't have to be overwhelmed, because it is overwhelming, right? And we get busy. And so it's nice because I don't really like to work when my kids get home from school. So it's nice for me to write out the caption and just have it ready to go for the time, at dinner. I like to post around dinner, like I was saying, breakfast, lunch, dinner. So I like to post around dinner, but I don't want to be sitting here scrambling while my kids are running around me, figuring out what to post. I usually figure out what I'm going to post in the morning and kind of write out my captions. And that way, when it's dinner time, I just post it because it's already planned out. So hopefully that makes sense. Let me read some more of your questions. Yeah, okay, this is a great question. Jennifer said, do I need to start a business? She said, I think, okay, I don't quite, it's a little choppy, but she said, do I need to start a business Instagram too, or can I mix personal and nail posts on the same Insta? I totally mix personal and nail posts on the same Instagram. So my Kelly France, if you guys go to Kelly, KELLIFRANCE on Instagram, you'll see that I have nail fees. I usually post at least 1 nail fee. That's my commercial, right? After I'm doing my 5, then I'll post a nail fee at least once a week. And a lot of people like to follow me just for my nail fees. So you can totally mix the two. Like I said, it's a reality show sprinkled with commercials. So yeah, occasionally you're going to be posting about the business. You're going to be posting about the nails, and that's okay because it's a reality show. And then Jamie said, how do you schedule posts on your personal page? Same thing. So Planoly is kind of more for Instagram, but I just paste it to Instagram, then paste it to Facebook. So that's kind of my system. Lynn's asked, is it more beneficial to have your Instagram account as a business account? I have mine set to regular. I don't think it matters so much. It's just up to you. The thing, I do have mine set to so on Instagram, you can choose to make it a business profile or a personal profile. Mine is a business one. My personal Instagram is a business, is considered a business profile because it gives you stats. And I like to see those stats. It will show me if you click on the little lines at the upper right, and you have to have a business account. It will show me insights, and it will show me which posts are doing the best. And it will show me where my audience is from. So right now, the majority of my audience is from New York, which is so interesting. Because I live in California and I used to live in Utah. So apparently New York people like me. And it shows me that my audience is ages 25 to 34.
Buy paper towel.
And mute yourself, please. Whoops. Yeah. So that's why I like it, but there's no right or wrong way. Okay. Would you Kim, this is a great question. She said, would you recommend using these tips for your VIP group? I can't post much about my personal life in social media due to work, and I can't have my Facebook page public. Yes, and that's a great alternative, Kim, if you can't really post publicly, is to do that in your VIP group. The only thing about, is that your VIP group, they're already your customers. And the thing that I like about, Instagram and like I'm posting on your personal Instagram and Facebook is that you're connecting with new potential customers and new potential prospects. So, but yeah, your VIP group is also a great place. I always try to post sometimes I'll do a post on Instagram, copy and paste it to Facebook, copy and paste it to my VIP group, copy and paste it to my business page. So you can I highly recommend posting personal stuff in your VIP group because you want your customers to get to know you better as well. Okay. Number 9 was Molly asked what was number 9. Number 9 was to compliment others. Sorry if I didn't give that a number. It was to compliment others. What is this app called? Yeah, it's Planoly. And I will post a code. I have like a free trial, I think, to Planoly that I can post right after this. Okay, Polly says, a couple more questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. Polly said, so if you are posting one nail thing for every 5 favorite things, if you're posting two or three times a day, does that mean you're posting about the biz every couple of days? That's a good question. So typically, I will do 1 nail fee a week and 1 business blessing post a week. So I guess technically I don't do it after every 5. And so I just try to make sure I go live once a week. I try to make sure I do a business blessings post once a week, and I try to make sure I do a nail fee once a week. So that's just kind of something I try to be careful. Be aware of is, have I done, kind of check myself, stalk my feed and say, have I done a nail fee this week? And if not, I better do one. Okay, Cherie said, all right, any other questions? I thought scheduling posts prevent it from seeing it as much. Good question, Kimberly. So when you're scheduling, so I'm not really scheduling posts. I know a lot of people use CintShare, which you can totally do. And we actually have a speaker who's going to be talking about scheduling posts the last week in November. So that'll be really helpful for you guys. I just plan them out in Planoly, but I don't schedule them. Like, I just plan them there, and I plan the content, I plan the caption, but then I actually post them myself. So that's kind of how I do it. But I know you can actually have them scheduled to go out using like CintShare, and I know there's a couple other ones. But that's not how I do it. So yeah, you can look into that if you want it to, but it probably won't be seen as well. All right, you guys, well, it's been an hour, so we're gonna wrap it up, but thank you so much, you guys, for hopping on. Thank you for bonus qualifying to earn this. I'm super proud of you guys, and I hope that you'll be one of the 50% that applies these tips and really, be brave and put yourself out there. Don't be a perfectionist procrastinator. Start sloppy and just start sharing about your life and about your 5 faves. And you're going to start people are going to start connecting with you that you didn't even know. And they're going to start asking you about your nails and your business. And it's such a great way to run your business, and it's way more fun. So I hope this has helped you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.